Kevin Hunter thought he could keep cheating Wendy Williams. But the judge said,
Not today.
It seems like despite losing in court against his ex-wife Wendy Williams, Kevin Hunter wants to keep on suing her until he can get her money, and this has made the public livid. Following the fight of her life last year, Wendy Williams was sued by her ex-husband Kevin Hunter, who wanted more of his ex-wife's money, and so he filed a lawsuit demanding Wendy continue paying alimony despite her being unemployed and not in 100% control of her hard-earned cash. The couple's divorce judge shut down Kevin Hunter's demand for Wendy to continue making alimony payments and said that Wendy's financial guardian will not have to resume cutting Kevin alimony checks. The judge found that Kevin's request was not emergent and ordered his application to be dismissed without prejudice. Kevin had also requested that Wendy pay for his attorney fees, and the good judge also denied that request. The judge must have seen right through Kevin's stunts, a man asking his sickly wife to pay him, his family, and his attorneys money that she didn't necessarily owe him. While most people would have given up after the judge's sentence, Kevin's fight for Wendy's payments is not completely over. The judge said while they don't consider his demand for alimony payments an emergency, he can still take his case to mediation. The judge said the parties are to participate in binding arbitration. The issues surrounding the severance payments and the qualified domestic relations order are disputed and therefore need to be mediated. This means that he can still sue Wendy again, and for a man like him, he will most likely sue her again. When Hunter stopped receiving alimony early last year, shortly after Williams lost her contract with Talk WW, he filed a motion to resume those payments in November. He claimed he had fallen behind on his bills and that he was currently living in a community that required payments to the homeowner association, and that he was behind on that bill too. He said that if the fees for the homeowners association were not paid, foreclosure would follow soon. He even claimed that his car insurance had not been paid as a result of not receiving his monthly severance payment. He said, "I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since Wendy stopped making payments under our settlement agreement," Kevin added. "The fact that I am unable to sustain my life and pay my bills in order is extremely emergent to me. I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living." Now we all have to remember that this man not only cheated on his wife with another woman, he went ahead and got the other woman pregnant, and he was able to sustain her high standards of living by using Wendy's money. When Wendy finally decided to divorce him, he couldn't let go of her money and managed to get Wendy to pay him alimony that he used to take care of his new family. The ex-couple had a son in their relationship, but Wendy was the one footing her son's bills while also paying her ex-husband money that he used to care for his new wife and daughter. Unluckily, Wendy underwent financial and health problems and was unable to continue sustaining her ex-husband and his family, therefore cutting them off from receiving alimony. After all Wendy did for him, Kevin still went to court and sued her and her financial team for failing to pay him his monthly salary alimony money. Williams' team came to her aid and said she took a financial loss after being suspended from her talk show, adding that she stopped receiving her salary in October 2021, which means she didn't have money to pay him. They also noted that her ex understood and agreed that all severance payments shall be subject to either termination or modification if Wendy's contract was not renewed or otherwise suspended, canceled, or terminated.
How did the Wendy show end?
It ended because of the negligence of her production company in regards to realizing how severe her health was.
He must have forgotten to read the alimony contract that stated that in case Wendy's contract with her show got suspended or canceled, she would stop paying him alimony. And that's why when she was suspended from her show, she stopped paying him. On June 14th, it was announced her show was officially canceled and the final episode aired on Friday, June 17th. The final original episode of The Wendy Williams Show will air on Friday, June 17th, with a video tribute to the iconic host. A spokesperson for the show said, "The series comes to an end after 13 successful years in syndication." As previously reported by various media streams, Wendy ultimately lost The Wendy Williams Show after months-long absence that was caused by the fact that she was battling medical problems. She said goodbye to her legion of fans after airing the final episode of the show. Wendy has struggled with Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism, which she was diagnosed with in 2003, and also sobriety following her separation from her ex-husband, resulting in her checking into a rehab facility in 2019. Sources allege that her alcohol problem was so bad she even had to spend 2 months in Malibu, California at a rehab treating severe alcoholism. Wendy had previously claimed she was sober, but that she had a number of public incidents involving alcohol, and that's why she decided to check into rehab for severe alcoholism. Someone who personally knew her talked about her rehab stay and said that Wendy was being treated for extreme alcohol abuse. She has had numerous doctors who have told her for years, "If you drink, you'll die." She never really wanted to stop, and the people around her in New York allowed her to keep drinking. Despite the fact that Wendy is still not in her best condition at the moment, Kevin Hunter seems hell-bent on suing her until she gives him her money. According to court documents, Wendy's son Kevin Jr. was hit with a lawsuit seeking nearly $70,000 in back rent for non-payment on the Florida home. The eviction suit included a copy of Kevin Jr.'s lease, which showed that Wendy paid for a full year of rent in advance, as well as a security deposit and other fees. Wendy had spent over $100,000 on the apartment for her son for the first year of the lease, which started in March of 2021, with Kevin agreeing to continue to rent the apartment on a monthly basis after the lease term had passed. Kevin Jr. explained that as a result of his mother's medical issues, he had to leave his Florida university for a full academic year. When I moved in, my mom rented the apartment for me, paying for a full year plus security as the lease approached the end. My mom went through some health issues that put the court in control of her finances, Kevin said of the lease, which ended in February 2022. Kevin Jr. claimed that even though his name was on the lease, his mom was the one who paid for it and who continued paying for it, but due to medical and legal reasons, she has not been able to pay the rent for the past months since the one-year lease ended and the court controlled her finances. Wendy's only child also said he had spent the past several months back and forth between states checking on his mom's well-being, adding that he ended up being evicted because everything happened at it very quickly and unexpectedly. As a father, Kevin Hunter should have at least taken responsibility if Wendy was not able to do it herself, but instead he went to court dragging his ex-wife in the mud to get her to pay him alimony. It's not like Wendy doesn't want to pay him, though some sources say she must have planned something along those lines. It's just that she doesn't have money, and also she doesn't have enough control over her finances. It was reported that Wendy was placed in a financial guardianship earlier this year following a months-long absence from the Wendy Williams show as she faced a myriad of health issues. Her financial issues started when Wendy Wells Fargo accounts were frozen over concerns that she was of unsound mind and the bank suspected financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence. Her situation was so harsh that she wasn't even able to pay her own employees since she could not access her own money. Kevin should realize that Wendy won't pay for his expenses ever again, and he should shoulder his responsibility as a husband and a father to his new family without depending on her. A fan on Twitter said, "I'm glad that Kevin Hunter and his dingy dame can no longer leech of Wendy Williams." Another said, "Kevin Hunter had a woman who loved him in Wendy Williams. He's so used to Wendy taking care of him, he genuinely thinks she should be taking care of him, his baby mama and a love child. He even wants her to pay his court costs. I hope he loses in court and has to work." Anyways, let's not forget that this video is based on theories and my opinions and should not be considered facts. That's it for this video. Bye.